High is extensively renovated, how will the current student body be housed during the renovation process?
Keep collecting cards. Well, that right there, you know, they're, as far as how will they be housed, I mean, that's up to the experts. Truly, if we go back to some of the proposals, the last proposal that the current school board actually voted on to do, and then they changed their mind last minute, we was actually going to be constructing a new building right there outside of K building in front of B building. You know, so basically just be blocking that area right there off to do that construction. I mean, that's, you know, so that's going to be a whole lot less effect on our school campus than just going here, going there, and everywhere else. I mean, I think that was the best plan yet. You know, because there's been proposed to do a building behind the school. There's been proposed about tearing down the buildings and starting again. But, you know, just constructing a new building, a new two-story building, as that proposal was given to the school board, that they voted on, that they somehow rejected. It should have already been built by now, but it isn't. It would really minimize the issue we have on the campus. That's all I can say.
Well, just like Jeff said, the offer from the commissioners 2 years ago to build a building to replace the mobiles was accepted by the Board of Education, 6-0, including our incumbents. They came back 2 years later and backed out of that. But in the meantime, they contacted an architect and come up with full architectural drawings and spent $290,000 of your tax dollars. And then voted not to use it. There's a pretty good chunk of change right there. Like Jeff said, this building was designed to be external to any traffic patterns for the children. Most of the other renovations could be done, and I'm no contractor, but I look at Statesville High. Statesville High evidently is considerably older than Davie High, and the decision was made to do a complete renovation there. They said they spent $16.5 million, and they basically run plastic down the middle of the building, kept this side, renovated this side, and then did the auction. That's what I was told by an individual. And we asked, whoa, what kind of disruption? They said it wasn't nearly as bad as you think. I wasn't there, I do not know, I'm no construction person. But the main change that David would see would be the building that would replace the mobiles. Other areas would be much smaller sections of schools we worked on. I think the wringing of the hands and chewing the bits about, oh, it'll be so disruptive is a scare tactic that's being put forward. So don't leave all you hear and only half you read. I heard a wise man say one time, when people talk in half-truths, you don't know which half to believe. And I think this is one of those half-truths.
As far as housing the students, well, in renovating any building, you're going to have detours, you're going to have delays, you're going to have hidden costs, but the main focus is to work in a safety manner for the students. If you have to put up plastic, like we did at State High, put up plastic. If you have to block off, you know, a quarter of the work area and the student have to walk around, and then give the student extra time to get to the class. A lot of renovating can be done on a small scale. A lot of it can be done during the summertime when school gets out. Like, you know, you have 3 months. They can do a lot of building in 3 months. Renovating in 3 months. They can do a house in 2 months now. I don't see why they can't do a 2-story building in just maybe 4, 5, 6 months. Students are always fascinated with building. Students are going to stop and look and take the time to ask questions. But as far as the whole student body, I don't think I see any problem in renovating. Yeah, there are going to be delays, there's going to be setbacks, as I said. But if the school bond fails, I don't see why we can't renovate. Also, too, look into maybe building a second high school, because Baby High doesn't have to be a 4A school, because there's a lot of great 1A, 2A, 3A schools. A.L. Brown, I believe, is a 1A school, top-notch school in the state. Mission Beginnings. 1A school. They're a top-notch school. Besides Country Day, they're a 1A school. So you don't necessarily have to be a 4A school to be a great school. Second high school would not be a bad idea. One more comment.
Yeah, let's just keep on.
I'm gonna circle back real quick here on this building that two of my fellow candidates here were talking about at Baby High. One of the reasons all that happened in the beginning was that the city commissioners at the time demanded we do that, or they were going to cut $1.3 million out of our budget. And that was an obvious concern. So we were forced into doing that from my perspective. How will we handle the student body or house the student body when we do renovations? I frankly don't know. That's why I think the best idea is, for a lot of different reasons, is to build a new school and move on. One of the biggest concerns is how do you calculate, how do you quantify what the issue is, and some of these guys have already talked about it. How do you quantify the damage or the issue that you cause to the student body while all this is going on? What do you do to them from an educational perspective when you're trying to do all this work? And you know, there's some numbers been tossed around about renovation, and you know, if we're talking about doing, and the word here says extensive renovations. Extensive renovations are turning that campus into something that is non-recognizable, and to do that, you would have to. I mean, the only thing I would know to do is, you know, there's the only open areas is the football field and the football practice field, and you have to set up a mobile classroom village, but there's no good way to do that.
Having the opportunity many years ago to renovate a library in a middle school. Imagine what it's like to move 750 children to the public library weekly so that they could use their library. Imagine what it's like to store the thousands of copies of books on that library, for that library. And that renovation took 7 months. The cost of the buses to transport these students back and forth to the library, this was years ago, was astronomical. I would rather have put that in field trips to places where they could really gotten into education. The library wasted drive time. It was horrendous. I also had the opportunity to add a middle school wing to a building that was over 55, 56 years of age. And the trouble that came with that, with the middle school students trying to operate a K-2, a 3-5, and a 6-8 program while construction was going on. The lower level playground area, the playground where they were supposed to get to play, that was the site staging area. That's where the construction trailers were, the generators, all the materials, and it had flooded after a storm. Also, too, the education during that year of transition was the most horrendous, stressful time for students, as well as for the faculty, as well for the community. Now, we did celebrate when it was finished, but that was a small project. I have heard that we reneged on a project. No, we didn't renege. We stepped back and we said, okay, what would it take for a new high school versus the cost? When I heard Little sit there and say to us, and it was $44 million, and we hadn't even gotten to the cost that it was going to take to re-site these children or bring in trailers or site the process, how long it was going to take. When we heard this, we said, well, stop. You haven't even got to furniture and equipment. You haven't gotten to the fact that we are sitting on 33 acres. We need 60 acres to have a full program. Wait a minute, what are we doing here? What are we doing to the taxpayers of Davie County by going ahead and doing this, and it may last 10 years, and we can go ahead and do state-of-the-art in 21st century. And the building will still be there. I won't. Some of you in this room won't. But that building will be there, a state-of-the-art. Yes, we stepped back. And to Chad Fuller's answer, what are we going to do with 1,723 students that were enrolled today, 4, 3, 14? What are you going to do with their education during that time frame?
Okay, we've got a problem in redoing some of the classes, but they could be done on a schedule. And I want to tell you something. Whoever come up with the $44 million to reconstruct this school that we're living in right now, somebody's out of their mind. Because let me tell you, I've toured it and they've got some classrooms they're not using. If you do it on a schedule, you can redo some of the classrooms one at a time. All it takes is scheduling. And classrooms, those mobile units, all of them are not being used. I know of one that said they're using for storage. Now, if it's good enough for right now, why do we have to make a big change to charge the taxpayers $54 million plus interest, maybe up to $77 million? Well, the one answer to this is, why don't we start a fundraiser? See who wants to donate enough money to build a new school. But right now, we're getting by, and we have got by for many years. And the building is sound. It's not falling down. There's been repairs done to it. Like I said, the gymnasium, the flooring in it is beautiful. I mean, I don't understand why we have to have a state of art when we're trying to educate children. Getting them, I guess some of them is like football players. They get a scholarship, then after they go to college, they get big money when they turn pro. And about the drama class, it was a little small, but it can be changed. I mean, if you want to have a meeting, one of them gyms, the new gym, the big one, will seat a bunch of people. But like I say, it goes back to the computer. You got a laptop, you got it right there in front of you. And if you need to go back and read a library book, bring it up on the computer. And you can read it right there. And I didn't see a library in the high school. I don't know whether they've got one there or not. You got one? Okay, well, we didn't tour that. Okay, thank you.